When I touch an object, I often have a mental visual image of it. And funny enough, I often refer to the days prior to 2004 where I could see large objects. I could see my hand in front of my face. I even dream still with those visuals often. And other times I dream like I am now, where it's basically I can just see the brightest of lights. My belief in life is God made me this way. To show other people you might not be able to do anything that you want to do because you think you can't, but why not try it? I was born premature, and that's the whole reason why I'm blind. I was born blind, and the big joke behind it is I was so eager to rush out and see the world. In the end I saw nothing. But I grew up with Alsatian or German Shepherd dogs. I grew up playing with them, not being scared of big dogs, and so I loved animals. My love for horses only came about when I really had the opportunity to interact with horses. My love for endurance sport started with road running. My dad also encouraged me from his side. Being a regular runner, he's already done 5 Comrades marathons. But I nearly ran into a guy. I almost bumped him because when they stand still, you don't hear them like you would hear something hard.
Well, you must open your eyes and look, man.
No, they must open their eyes and look. They got the eyes that work. Mine are broken.
Yeah, but you know. We used to play tricks on him too, you know. We'd sort of say to him, no, now you must aim through the garden, go down the garden, and we used to pull a rope across the garden. And he'd ride, next thing he'd have a rope and he'd flip backwards off the bike and he'd say, you know, and we'd all be laughing. So I think he got even the worse off. He wasn't treated with kid gloves at all.
What make is that?
That would be a Merc. Oh, it's got a round badge here. Well, I can't feel the carbon.
In later years, I built go-karts. We'd take timed laps around the garden, and with him included, I'd go and he'd see if he could beat my time.
It's got quite tight shocks, coil springs.
And he used to know where to turn by. He would aim across, then he'd know that when the front wheel dips into the next flower bed, that would be the place to turn. And he would keep doing that. And he was always within 2 seconds of my lap time. He used to play with his matchbox cars. And I used to leopard crawl up into his room quietly and then move his cars around. And thought he didn't notice, and as I was leopard crawling back, he'd take a car and whip it and he'd hit me exactly on the head because he knew I was there.
You see it properly now?
Well, I can get a very good mental image of this.
I don't get mental. I said, can you see it properly?
No.
Why not?
Can't see these.
Wait, I'll go put the lights on.
I can't see the colour of all these.
You know, we teased each other. Absolutely like a normal brother. Whatever we did, he did. We didn't even think, we didn't even hesitate. We just said, you are doing it. No questions. It wasn't too hard. I think it actually taught him about life. Life wasn't going to treat him better than we were going to treat him, even at our worst. Because, you know, he's still our family. We'd make him fall on his bum, but we wouldn't hurt him to his detriment. We are a strong-willed family, I think. We were taught that way. I think we'd kick his bum if he sat down and he was a couch potato.
There were times as a kid when my brother and his friends used to tease me quite badly. It was very frustrating, but now I actually realize the value of it because you know, it made me a stronger person, and I think, you know, I can deal with what life throws at me, and life can throw you some bad ones at times. Living independently is very important to me, and also, you know, having to rely on people is not really what us blind people want to do. That's one of the big obstacles in my life cleared since my company said I could work from home. And that's one of the biggest blessings I've ever had in life. I took the leap and moved out to the farm, rented a cottage there, and actually started riding quite regularly. Then from there I decided, no, you know, I like endurance sport. Why not investigate a bit into endurance riding? So I bought Billy, and Billy quickly got into the swing of things there. He's a good boy. It doesn't work on touch, it works on video. And so we got used to each other, and since then the bond grew. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Come show me how you love him.
To have the ability to communicate with an animal like that, oh, what a privilege. What a privilege.
Go, 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 go. Yeah, that looks nice, Nash.
The combination of Billy and Carl is phenomenal.
Yeah?
Have you had any problems with any limping or anything, any kind of lameness?
And that is the most important thing for me in an endurance race. Not what breeding is, not what your ability is. It's the combination of the rider and the horse.
No, that looks all right. No bruising, hey guys?
I know that Billy is aware of the fact that Carl can't see. And I think Billy makes it a priority to make his vision so much stronger for the both of them.
From that point where I bought Billy, we got into endurance riding. So my goal was to do 2009's Fauresmith.
Fauresmith is one of the most grueling and most challenging endurance races. The riders are really trying to stay calm, but the horses are so excited. They know what's coming and they are eager for the day.
She's ready to go, hey? She is so ready.
Fauresmith is a 3-day race, and it consists out of 2 70 kilometers and then a 50 kilometer on the last day. You've got a terrain of a little bit of everything. You've got your ups, your downs, your flats, you've got your stony parts. Endurance racing, I could, if you put it over into people terms, is something like long distance running. However, you've got professionals checking you up at certain points the whole time to see that your body is handling with what you're giving it. On the first and the second day, there are 3 vet checks. Now, at a vet checks, your vets basically look for, they monitor heart rate, they check that the metabolics of your horse is 100% functioning, and they check that the soundness of your horse is 100% correct.
Okay, good. Has he had a drink?
Yes.
Has he?
You get a certain amount of time. You have to get your horse's heart rate down to 64 beats per minute. That's what you want to go in with to a vet check. The panel of veterinarians that we have looking after those horses are so strict. If that horse shows the mildest indication of discomfort, he's thrown from the race. It can be tough on a horse, yes. A horse is like a jar of marbles. Every race you do, every training session you have, you're taking one of those marbles out. And you've got to remember, if you're going to take out a hell of a lot of marbles, you're not going to have a hell of a lot of horse left. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's work for the rider, but it's a lot more work for the horse.
When I started telling people that I want to actually attempt doing Fauresmith, besides people saying that my horse was totally not the right breed for doing any tough endurance event like that,
Good boy.
they were telling me his hooves are too small, I don't feed him correctly. You know, there's so many things came up that people were all putting negative thoughts into my mind.
Nice and shiny.
But I knew in my heart that Billy had the spirit and the heart to do something like that. So I started training him, and I started entering as many endurance rides as I really could afford. And then early July 2009, the big day came along. On the ride, he was going like a train. He was pulling like an absolute train from day one. Only on the third leg, day 2, did he show signs of fatigue. And I had to actually get off and walk him a bit.
The end, the last part of Fauresmith, oh, when they play the Chariots of Fire, every year everybody cries. That accomplishment of 200 kilometers on horseback in 3 days, that's a large accomplishment.
Yeah, it was quite emotional at the vet check once Dr. Dave Midgley, when he said to me, I passed your horse, he's sound, he's finished the ride. Once that was confirmed, I knew that was my first Fauresmith and the first blind rider in the world who's ever done such a ride. So that was how the whole story, how I got to doing my first Fauresmith.
Good boy. He's a good boy. He's a whole boy. Let me just take myself back. He's a good boy. Going for a nice ride.
It's been a long way to get where I am. It's been a very challenging and bumpy route. But here I am, and the hope is to actually get to this year's Fauresmith. When we're on community watch patrol with our neighborhood community watch, I would ask the guy in the vehicle I'm patrolling with to explain to me what's happening on the route we're patrolling. So what can I expect what? And I'd memorize this. Then I would go the next day or in my next opportunity, and I'd go slowly with Billy and just go And he would also, you know, he's a very clever horse. He looks out for obstacles. And then just count me down more or less, so when you say now I can get ready to push the button.
50 meters.
I would use a special GPS application loaded on my phone used for the blind. It allows you to landmark various points of interest in your area.
3, 2, 1.
Selected.
When I'm approaching these points, it would announce approaching, and then when I arrive, it would say arrive at. And so I learned to use the GPS phone as a backup, although most of the time I'm navigating on my sense of hearing, sense of direction and memory. I would know when I'm approaching an intersection because I'd know the plot before the intersection has a certain type of dog, like a Great Dane, or the others would have staffies, and I'd get to know the sound of the dogs. Or I would hear certain birds in certain trees because there would only be those birds in that specific area where there's big trees. So we would familiarize ourselves, and then every time I redo that new part of the route, I'd pick up the pace a bit. I can't describe to anybody who can see what a feeling of freedom I get being able to ride him out here in my suburb alone and having a gallop on my own, not being able to see and fully trusting him. When he's unsure of something and I'm unsure of something, I pull him in. If he's unsure and the footing's not that great on underfoot, he will slow down as well. He's very sensible. And that's the bond between us. We trust each other. I've got to trust him a lot to be totally blind and actually just go out in an area like this and just go cantering and galloping.
Hi, Carl.
How's it, Helen? How you doing?
Good, and you?
Good, good. Thanks for picking me up. Shopping.
You're welcome. Here's the milk.
Oh, yes.
Trust has been a big thing in my life.
Okay. 2% for you.
I've got some friends that I can count on one hand or maybe two hands that can do anything for me, that will do anything for me.
Yeah, maybe that one. Yeah, thanks.
But a lot of people have let me down in the past.
How much would you like?
Not too much, a piece maybe or two. People always, oh, we'll take you here and we'll do this and we'll go to the trains even, and then they just don't get around to doing it. They just can't stick to their promises. I don't like nagging people. You know, you feel bad enough having to ask somebody to get something from the shops or take you to the shops or to please come help me with this. That's why I'm so independent. I don't like asking people to help me. Billy and I have that trust in each other.
Gently, boy. Gently. He doesn't bite you back. He'll never bite me hard. Good boy.
That, you know, he'll look after me and I will give him the assurance that I won't let anything happen to him. I love trains, and I always loved trains since a kid. I hated school because I was in boarding school and I really hated it actually. And the train would perk me up because I'd look forward to the train trip going back to school. I've noticed a lot of people seem to think trains are just dangerous and blind people shouldn't be near trains because you can get run over. But somebody please tell me, how can a train be dangerous, more dangerous than a car? Because a car is steered by a human being and a car can veer left and right. A train runs on a fixed set track. And if you know you're not on the track, well, the train's not going to come off and run you over. So I always wonder why people try and keep me away from trains and say, oh, don't go near there, it's dangerous. There's another hobby I also got involved with very recently. It's called geocaching. It's using GPS technology, which is obviously part of my life, where they hide treasures anywhere all over the world. You basically place a weather-secure plastic container in a location wherever you are at the time. You are allowed to put items in there that could reflect yourself. And then to reflect that I'm blind, I put in a piece of dymo tape with my name written in Braille on it. I could have, out of choice, kept quiet about being blind. And if I'm going to keep it quiet, somebody that might need that encouragement might have missed out on it.
Okay, Carl, there you go.
Thanks,
Good luck,
really.
eh?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Right. Okay, good. Thanks.
As a blind rider, I have a definite feeling of being scared before the endurance ride and generally on the route as well.
Okay, Carl, there's our bolo and fireplace on the right-hand side, camping site on the right-hand side, with the chairs around. Just
The camping is quite a big challenge for a blind person because it's not your home. You don't have this couch here and that table there.
on the right. And Billy is just behind you.
Is he in that direction?
Yeah.
Okay. The whole camping layout is a challenge because you've got to watch that you don't trip over tent ropes, walk into paddocks, and the joke is some people have electrified tape for paddocks to keep their horses, especially the stallions, in. So I've got to know where that is so I can avoid it.
I'll get you some tip. Tourist going to get some tip. There is a boy.
I find the endurance is more of a mission when it comes to camping because it's not only your tent you put up, it's not only your bedding you've got to do. You've got to help set up the horse camp, the portable paddock. You've got to look after your horse the whole weekend. You sleep close to your horse. So I've always got to rely on people, and what if you need to do something in the middle of the night? Or you've got to try and find your way there, or if it's at worst, wake somebody up, which I just can't do. I think on an endurance ride, there's more tension going around that from my personal point of view, than what I've experienced at any other endurance sport event. Because you're dealing with an animal who's also hyped up. He knows there's something happening. He knows there's a lot of activity, and he knows they're going to work hard. He's got four joints to worry about. We only got 2. So you see, there's so much more that can happen to the horse. It's much less work on me physically compared to other sports, but I think the whole vibe there and what can go wrong as in the back of your mind is quite a stressful sport. On the endurance rides, I often wonder what are people seeing, and they often comment on the scenery.
Good boy. Oh, you want to play? You want to play? You want to drink more?
Okay. Now you can just go straight. That's it.
I can hear, you can hear the wind whistling through trees or the breeze. You can hear if there's quite long grass. You can hear if it's open or if the ground drops a lot to the left or the right. If we're riding on like a verge, it's quite nice to hear that it's so open on the left or right. If I really find something sounds quite interesting, I do ask. And most of my sighted guys give me quite an accurate description of what we're riding through or past. Obviously what I'm riding on, Billy's feet, his hooves give me feedback.
Oh, hey, look. Oh. Wait,
How's it going? I speak English. Is it going well, Cole? Eating, Cole, you must drink a bit more water and eat well. He's a little bit dehydrated, okay? Otherwise he's fine, alright?
No, great. No, you're not a thoroughbred, only thoroughbreds.
There you go. Enjoy, Cole.
What is his heart rate?
50.
50.
That's not bad, thanks for that.
Good boy, Billy.
Thanks a lot, eh? Cool. Come, Billy, boy. Are you hungry, my boy? Come on, boy. Come. Last week, which is a week before the final qualifying ride at Midval, the Monday night, came home, fed Billy, and just walked up to him and, as normal, gave him a check over by feeling his body temperature. And immediately I could feel he was a bit warmer than usual. Then I basically decided, now let me listen to his breathing, because I know more or less his breathing rate, how fast or slow it should be.
You have to go and fetch the stethoscope, my boy.
And also just the way he is around me, because I know him so well, he was a bit less, he gave me a bit less energy than he usually does. Hi Helen, it's Carlia, how are you? Oh, I'm okay, thanks. Listen, I've got a problem with Billy. I immediately called Helen Taylor, who always helps me out here in the area. She works very closely with the veterinarians in the area.
Carl, it's actually a little bit high.
Okay.
It's 38.8.
Sure. And so by Wednesday, his temperature still been high, around 39, 39.1. She decided to phone the vet and ask him what the next step is, what we should do. But he's really a lovely animal.
Gentleman.
He just wants to sleep. And also mentioned to him that we got this 80-kilometer ride. I mean, it's like a marathon in human terms. And immediately the vet said, no, it's not a good idea to ride. Let me check you, my boy. Let me just check. Okay. So it was a horrible decision I had to make. I needed the ride to qualify, but I also don't need a sick horse or a horse with a weakened heart or possible even death. Because I wouldn't, to be very honest, the type of bond I have with Billy, I wouldn't be able to live with myself after making a poor decision. I think one horse is more important than publicity, what other people think. It's like a bond you build, like you would have with a child, you know. You're not just going to replace your child with another one. That's how close it is. The biggest reason why I changed and I took up running again, and I've actually stopped riding Billy on endurance, I feel better in the sense that I'm responsible for pushing myself, or I'm responsible for handling my own injuries. So in other words, I am taking the strain off Billy and putting it into my own hands. A lot of people ask me, why don't I run in the middle of the road? It's the flattest and the safest. But there's nothing to reference against. I can't use my echolocation, which is using the echo of sounds to hear where's the side of the road. So you're going to start zigzagging a little bit. The best is to run on the verge of the road. So I almost work like a train. I use the verge of the road as my railway track, and although it's not the smoothest verge, and there's generally very few areas that there's a bush or a tree on the verge of the road. By hearing certain dogs barking, I know I'm passing such and such a plot, and then I know there's such and such a distance before I reach the top of the hill or the intersection. But the GPS gives me more accurate reading. And when I hear a car coming, whether it's from behind or from the front, and I tend to just run slightly more off the road on the grass. And my biggest worry is that I'm going to one day run into somebody standing dead still. because your average person with clothing on does not give you the same echo feedback as, say, a parked car on the side of the pavement. I have to trust in myself, and I actually feel happy. And a lot of people in the area have said they feel motivated because they drive past me and they see I'm running on my own.
South Africa.
Yes, there you go.
South African. And right at the bottom, about 4 inches below your head, railways.
Railways. Okay, that's interesting.
Because this is pre-1925,
yes.
She only has one language.
Only English, yeah.
Only English, yeah.
But before the
Training out on my own has boosted my confidence.
Standing right opposite the cylinder.
cylinder, yeah. I read somewhere, I read it online, it's a 24-inch bore. Might be a bit hard.
I mean, I don't know of any blind people that will go out and run on their own. So that's already a confidence booster, and I feel motivated by it.
You do a short going slowly, because the cylinders are still cold.
Yeah. I like this one's whistle,
What's it like to be blind? Like
Not being able to see the beauty.
Yeah, sometimes that sucks badly, but I'm actually quite so used to it, you know.
Do you live at home by yourself?
Yes, I do.
And a lot of people ask me if I'm cross with God, and but I believe He made me. He made me blind with the reason that I can motivate other people.
If somebody moves stuff around in my cottage, I could be very confused, or I get very frustrated. That's why I clean my own place, because I have to know where everything is.
Oh, you said you horse ride. What's your horse's name?
Billy.
That's so cool. You must trust him a lot.
I do trust him a lot. Because I ride him alone around the area at home. If we gallop or whatever, he like avoids poles and fences and stuff, so I really trust him. So I try and make the best of it. It doesn't help us say, oh, I wish I can see. I do wish I can see. I do wish I had a car sometimes, because transport's a problem. But then again, I think how lucky I am that I've got a horse and all that sort of thing. If I think of many of my blind friends, they're guide dogs, or in America they refer to them as seeing eye dogs. A lot of them have a very close bond or relationship with their dogs. Hello.
Yes.
How's it, man? Have you got washing powder?
He's not. He's actually quite.
Billy is equivalent to that, if not more.
It's not you. There we go.
Hey, how's it, man? Good. The special bond I have with him is I can hop on his back any day and go for a ride totally on my own. I'm not going to go rushing up with this pack of fruit. Okay, cheers, Rusty. See you guys.
Okay. Catch you later.
Sure. Hi, is that Alberton Running Club? Great. My name is Carl. I'm looking for somebody who would be keen to guide me as a sighted guide. And who's keen to run half marathons and marathons with me. If somebody does respond, please let me know. I'll give you my telephone number. As a blind runner running a marathon or any ultra type endurance road running event, I say a lot of trust also has to go into your running partner, your sighted guide. Just as much as I would put trust into Billy to look out for the small obstacles and to carry me through those endurance events. Hi, Carl speaking. Yes? Oh, yes, I'm still looking for a running partner. Thanks, Darby, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Bye-bye. Great. At least now I know what I'm putting myself through.
4,000 here this morning. That's what everyone qualified today.
You guys are doing well, man.
Not feeling too bad. So far the ankle's okay too. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's fine. My heart might stop. That's better. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Are you okay for water though?
Oh, it's only one.
Shame, mate. You want to get some more? For you?
I'm alright. I'm okay.
Okay.
I try and imagine I'm seeing things, but yeah, that's part of it. Where your sighted person would focus much more on the visuals and looking at the trees, the types of trees and the types of vegetation. You know, unfortunately I miss out on that, but I can get the smells. I can tell if we run in amongst a lot of trees, I can feel that lovely shade and hear the whispering of the wind. And I can actually, if I run close enough past a tree, I can hear the echo of my footsteps against it. You know, the sight is not that important to me.
Okay. Sorry about this.
No problem. Lot of training.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not distance, but we'll get.
Yeah.
Running, that's not you can do it. You can do it.
Ja. Nee, vat net te lekker. Ek net moet op afspoel met die verkeerde cover. Ja. The legs are fine. I'm worried. I'm going to watch my hydration.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh. Are we going to make it easy?
I think so. No, just quick. And then I'll recover again.
For sure.
Just something.
Sugar.
Yeah. Just a quick sugar tip.
Okay.
So Darby, I must maybe just watch that I don't drink too much, but also not too little.
Yeah, just a sip or two water.
Yes. Yeah. You eat and I don't get up. You just go like this. Yes. I feel okay. Yes.
Still going to make it if you're coming around the bend, and just a reminder that our blind athlete is coming in soon, running for Benoni. Blind athlete doing 42 kilometers in the world today. How brilliant is that? Well done. I believe he had a bit of a rough patch going through, hitting the wall at about 25 and stuck it out. So well done, Carl. Of course, he can't see you, but he'll certainly hear you. So give a nice warm welcome to Carl and his teammates coming into the main straight now. Let's hear you. Well done to Benoni Harriers. Awesome team spirit, everybody. Congratulations.
I rode up today to the cache site. So I thought, there's nothing of running in there yet, so let me go pop a medal in there. I think running is now going to be my main sport. That takes the strain off Billy. It's doing my health good, and I always enjoyed it, and I think I always will. When I hit the road this morning, even from the start, I felt something's not right. And there by 13 k's, my energy and blood sugar levels dropped so badly, I had to actually go and lie in the marshal's car for a while.
This is no good either. Woman gel. Electrolyte replacement.
Alright. Looking good for the finish. You're feeling better?
Starting to slowly, but then
you'll feel better now.
Let's see how it goes.
No, it's just the blood sugar drop.
Oh, why so badly, so soon? I think let's walk if we can, and then slowly pick it up. Yes, sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. I would like to come out for this. It came right, but I was taking strain all the way. I wasn't feeling 100%. You know, I'm now putting my body through the strain that Billy used to go through in endurance, and I actually realize now what the horses actually go through doing 80, 120 kilometers, and like Fauresmith. If you don't know the horse is not 100% right, like I was today, then you know what pain do they go through.
You are the real hero amongst us here today. You are the real hero, not the winners. Guys like you.
No, I'm anyway not going to do a winning time. It's our first ultra.
Fantastic, even better.
I feel a little bit weak again, but I'm going to pull through that.
Just hang in, don't push it.
No.
37 coming up now.
Oh, good. 13 to go. That's good.
Lekker.
Alright, juice.
Only 10 to go.
We'll do it.
Alright, juice.
Those cramps, really, the last 8 k's was the worst, and then specifically this last hill by 46 k's, and I could hardly walk up there. I was taking strain walking up there. I sometimes wonder what actually attracts a lot of people to various endurance sports. When you're doing it and you're suffering, you sometimes think, why do you do this for? Are you mad? But there's something that wants you to achieve that goal. You know, my side is a challenge to myself to prove that I can do it on the same footing as any other sighted or able-bodied person.
Good shot, Darryl.
Yes. Dankie julle.
Right. Well done. Thanks, Darby. The enduring friendship between me, or the bond between Billy and myself, is much more important than doing endurance. People give you less of an option of doing your own thing, I think, because you're blind, and they don't realize how independent you actually want to be. I say you have to have trust in your own abilities and trust in yourself.